Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Katie Weaver Show. This is Katie Weaver. I'm your host, and I'm so happy to be here. And I'm realizing I forgot to change my shirt. Oh, well, it is what it is. I'm here. I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. I want to let you know we are live. It is the 17th of May at about 11 a.m. Pacific time. And of course, this is a live show. You can find me over in the chat room by heading over to 12radio.com. That's number one, number two radio.com. Click on the chat button and you'll be redirected into the Facebook chat. You can also, and you can find my banner there at the top of the page and you'll see other people chatting and me too. Also, you can watch this event rather than listen to it if you'd like to. And that is on YouTube and Facebook under Katie Weaver Domestic Mystic. So, there's all the housekeeping. I hope that you guys are well. It's a very weird, chaotic energy week, without a doubt. Of course, we're coming off of that Scorpio full moon lunar eclipse. Did you guys see it? It was pretty phenomenal. Uh, we could see it here in, I'm assuming you could see it in all of North America. We could sure see it from my house, but it was very cool. So, really, really happy to be here and just be sharing time with you guys. So, oh, where do we start? We are going to do Full Moon Fairy Tale Tarot today. It should have been, well, I try to do it as close to the full moon as possible. So, I decided not to do it last week and hold off for this week because this is really our closest moment. So, we'll be doing that. And of course, we'll also be reading a chapter out of Kathleen's book. And I think we'll have time for some readings today. So if you would like a reading, if you need some help with anything, you're welcome to throw your question up in any of the chat rooms, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook or just in the Facebook chat. I've got my finger on all of them so I can weigh in if you have any questions. As many of you know, we took one last run to Montana over the weekend for our daughter. Her softball team is in the postseason, and they were playing a best of three tournament with one team from Ohio to determine which team got to go to the World Series in Alabama. They lost, so they're out. They played hard, they worked hard. We were just outmatched. It was just one of those deals. So, Lillian, I'm not sure what's going on with the chat room. The live stream chat room seems to be moving kind of slow or weird. I agree. Anyway, so they're done, and she is on her way home as we speak. So sad to see their season end. However, it was a phenomenal one. We have absolutely nothing to complain about or feel bad about. It was great. And now we get to have her home for the summer. So we have no complaints. She's also bringing a teammate with her to spend a few days with us before she goes on home to Hawaii. So lucky for that, too. So what can I say? I feel like we're very lucky around here, without a doubt. So also, I'm kind of glad our travel is done for a little bit because I just do not think that those little puppies are going to be able to stay in a hotel again for a while because they were terrible this time. My sisters, Christy and Kara, came with us. So it was the four of us. And I mean, it was nice to have two extra adults wrangling puppies, especially in the car. But in the hotel, oh my gosh, naughty, crying forever in their crate when we'd put them to bed at night, up at 5:30 ready to go in the mornings. And it's not enough to get these two out of bed and take them to potty and feed them and get them playing with some toys. Oh no. If you get back in bed, they want in bed with you. And if you let them in bed with you, they'll just beat the shit out of you. There's no rest involved. So I feel like we're in like the terrible twos right now, and this too shall pass. But yeah, these guys aren't, I think, allowed in a hotel for a little bit because, ay, ay, ay. Horrible, horrible behavior. But it's okay. Oh, Pamela said on the East Coast they had cloud cover and could not see the eclipse. Wow. Yes, complain to management. I agree. I'm sorry. How frustrating. Sid also couldn't see it due to clouds. Oh, but they had a second consecutive weird lunar eclipse, scary electrical event. Wow. We'd cut short our walk when lightning started, and when I was trying to shove my dog through the front door, a huge flash of lightning boomed super low and loud right over my head, and I was wanting to avoid getting hit by lightning. Oh my goodness, Sid. Wow. Sounds like it was pretty sketchy where you guys were. Yeah. It was actually gorgeous here. Yeah. Oh, Jane said she saw it, but not the red part. We had the red part. Yeah. We have missed plenty of them though for cloud cover and stuff. Do you guys remember a couple of years ago when we had the Ring of Fire and it was only going to be able to be seen in certain parts of the US, and where I live happened to be one of those places, and somehow our local city officials got it through their heads that there were going to be like hundreds of thousands of people descend on our little tiny community to see that eclipse. And they went to all of this planning and set up this huge festival and all of this extra like campsites, and all of the businesses went to great lengths to be prepared for this huge influx. I mean, we're a tiny town of 30,000, 60,000 when the college is in session. And so we weren't in any way prepared for a huge influx of people. But there was just a certain path where you'd be able to see the Ring of Fire, and we were here. And all the while, I worried that we would have cloud cover because we're just like that, you know? We did not have cloud cover, but we also did not have the crowd that was predicted at all. It cost businesses thousands of dollars that had prepared in like restaurants that had ordered tons of extra food, and the city that had done a bunch of things to be prepared and do some, you know, extra things. And oh my gosh, it was crazy. They got it so wrong. So wrong. Anyway, I was just thinking about that eclipse the other day, what a huge deal it was, how hyped up it was, and it was very cool. It was a lunar, it was a sorry, it was a solar eclipse. You guys know which one I'm talking about. But it was sad, Jane. It was very disappointing to the locals who had worked really hard to prepare. They had put together this huge like kind of like I want to say festival, but I mean they brought in food trucks from all over and tons of people had booths set up, and it was mostly just locals here. Yeah. Though we did go over and shop it and eat from the food trucks for a few days and like try to support them because they came, you know. Anyway, crazy, but it is what it is. Anyhow, well, I'm glad that some of you did get to see it. I know some people, who got to see it well posted pictures. I didn't get any pictures. I can't ever take a decent picture of the moon, ever. Okay, so Tiffany shared a picture. That is gorgeous. Tiff, did you take that? That is beautiful. Wow, very cool. Very, very cool. Geraldine said, I traveled with puppies and it was interesting and frustrating. Oh, amen. Yeah. Well, I cannot get harnesses that are small enough for these little guys. And so I ordered the tiniest harnesses I could get. And Luca's kind of fits him, like enough that you can use it for him, but Bruno's is. But if Luca wiggles very much, it just goes around his waist. So, I mean, it won't take much growth out of them for these to fit beautifully, but ooh, right now, they just don't. It's a real trick. So, it's a lot easier to just keep them home. But my kids, my older kids also came home for a couple of days, Sunday, Monday, but they just left this morning. And of course, brought their dogs, of course, which is fine. But we have had quite the rodeo going on here with the puppies and our dogs and the kids' dogs. And oh my goodness, I think everyone's nerves are just a teeny bit shot. The older dogs, at least. My older dogs' nerves are shot. They have no patience for the puppies this morning. Yeah, yeah, crazy. Anyway, not that I'm regretting it. They're pretty great. However, at one point, Bruno bit my ear so hard, like bit the cartilage of my ear so hard that he made it bleed. He like gave me a cartilage piercing I didn't ask for, and I screamed so loud. And it was late. It was like 11:30. And Scott was like, "You just woke up the entire hotel. We're probably going to end up with the police over here thinking there's a domestic happening." Luckily, no. But oh my hell, it hurt. It's hard to imagine somebody that tiny that can do that much. Tiffany, they're amazing. Good job. Uh, It's hard for me to imagine that somebody that tiny can do that much damage. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Tara said they're having a rough time with their puppy too. Tara, how are things going, babe? How's your mom? I've been thinking about you guys. Okay. Well, what do you say we take a look at Luminous? Let's see. Oh, no, it never did show up, Lillian, in the. How weird. Yeah, I don't know why the chat's acting weird, but that's okay. Glad you came to the other one. Lillian said, I may have posted this a zillion times in the live chat. Today's daily dish really resonates with me. I'm very depressed over the home situation and feeling ill due to a current blue algae bloom. Oh dear. Feel like I have COVID. If you do any clearings today, I would really love one. I did spray frankincense on me. Yeah, babe, absolutely. I'm sorry you're not feeling good. I know this situation with the housing is just really, really frustrating. The daily dish is kind of an interesting. It's interesting to me, and especially because I've traveled so much lately. I've written them. I've pre-written them. You know, sometimes when I know I'll be gone for a few days, and it's not my policy to do that. If I'm going to be home, I do them on the spot because I feel like that's a good way to just keep your finger on the very current, you know, energetic place that we are in. However, it's not always possible. And it's interesting to do several in a row and go, whew, this is going to be a trick. You know, I try to keep the daily dish light, but sometimes a warning is in order about what you're seeing, you know, and that's definitely been the case this time. So I feel like this is a good time for all of us to just pay a bit of attention. This week, the energy is kind of rocky. It is weird. The Schumann resonance was really out of whack the last few days. I was going to look at it today and see where we are. But yesterday it was spiking, and over the weekend it was spiking. And as you probably know, people, yeah, it's high today too. It's 43. People were out of their minds this weekend. You probably noticed. There were at least three mass shootings that I know of. Sometimes there's more that we just don't really hear about, but things have been very intense. So add Mercury in retrograde, the lunar eclipse in Scorpio, the Schumann resonance, and probably other factors as well. I mean, tomorrow is a big election day for most places, and the political campaigning and stuff has been intense and full of fear and off the wall stuff. And here we are. So, with all of that being said, I feel like it I think helps us to see why the energy is so wild right now. Sometimes we get in these places where people that are kind of on the edge, they really hit it, you know, they really feel it. And that can get really, really hard. So I do feel like this is the way things are going and that we should be really careful. Just take good care of yourself. This isn't a good week to do things like get involved in a road rage incident or go to places where you know tensions are going to be weird and high. Just take care of yourselves. Be careful. People are crazy right now. They just are. So Tara wants to know, what is the Schumann resonance all about? So in the 50s, a gentleman by the last name of Schumann discovered this pulse coming from the earth that he was measuring in megahertz. It's a magnetic pulse. And that pulse was that's when they first discovered it, but I suspect it's been there forever. They just didn't, you know, it just hadn't been discovered yet. But the Schumann resonance was from I think it was 1953. Forgive me, that might be wrong, but somewhere in the mid 1950s, uh, until somewhere about 2013, it was always the same or within like one or two clicks. And so, you know, sometime it was right around 7.33 forever and ever and ever. and the power was somewhere around 7.33. Well, then sometime in around 2013, it started changing. And this was the first time it really did that. It started changing and spiking and coming up and down pretty intensely. And when it did that, that really got people in the empathic world a lot more uh, dialed into it, because what we were seeing is when it was spiking, and we're saying it was like 7.3, it started spiking up to like 20s and 30s, right? And even then, we were noticing that when it was spiking, people were acting weirder, more intense, struggling more, just a more, and maybe more psychic and more empathic too, but kind of some pluses and minuses. Well, then in 2017, it spiked clear up into the 90s. And in 2019, it spiked clear up over 100. And they are spikes. They don't stay there forever. They'll spike up there for a day or two, or sometimes even an hour or two, and then come right back down to that 7.33 mean. So for me, whenever I notice that the world is a little off kilter, or, because of the job that I have a really unique peek into what's going on with people across the world, because I take callers from all over the world. And when I have people from everywhere calling me with very similar energetic issues, like everybody's really ungrounded or everybody's feeling really anxious, things like that, two of the things I will always go look at is what's going on with the Schumann resonance and what is going on with solar flares. And then, of course, astrology too. But solar flares, that'll really, sometimes we'll see we're having like major solar flares and the Schumann resonance is spiking and people are out of their minds. This is so, anyway. So, right now, yes, people are a bit out of their minds. I don't know about solar flares. I haven't seen anything significant in the last couple of weeks, but oh, the Schumann resonance is getting us, I think. So I hope that was as clear as mud, or I hope it was clear as a bell and not clear as mud, Tara. But that's what it is. And I'll share a link with you guys of the site that I check. There's a lot of sites that track the Schumann resonance. This one is my favorite because it just makes it crystal clear. There's not a lot of interpretation, but the numbers of where we are, it makes it crystal clear. So what you're looking for is the power. So you'll see the amplitude, the quality, the frequency max, and the frequency min. The amplitude is the number that we're concerned with, the power. So, and they all should be somewhere in the 7 point something range, but it's the power that we see hop clear up there into higher numbers. And 43 that's pretty high. That's significant. So I'll share it in both chat rooms so that you guys can see it. Oh gosh, Terry said our volunteer fire department whistle has been going on and off for 2 weeks, and someone ran into the local laundromat. Oh my goodness. Yeah, people are so ungrounded and wigged out right now. Yeah. Oh, Jane said she's quarantined because she's been exposed to COVID. Oh, I'm so sorry. I I don't know why this is an ominous show today. It doesn't need to be, but I am going to tell you guys that I think we're going to see a huge uptick in COVID here in the next couple of months. It's already starting. And just take care of yourselves. That's all. I'm not going to tell you what to do except for that take care of yourselves. Don't act like COVID has gone away. It hasn't. It's just that other things have taken over the news. While we're so busy worrying about what's going on with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, COVID is coming up. One of my daughter's positions in her job is COVID tracking for the employees that work at the company she works for. And in the past couple of months, she can go whole days without a single case reported. And over the last 3 days, that has increased by 10 in some days, 6, 8 cases. It's a lot more than they were seeing from 0 to 10. The percentage there is pretty scary. And I know that's just one example. That's colloquial, I know, but still pay attention and take good care of yourselves. Just don't pretend like it's not happening anymore. Hey, Brandy, good to see you, beauty. Oh, Pamela says they're a high risk in their state. I know we're all so damn tired of talking about COVID. We don't even know what to do with ourselves. I get it. I am too. But just be smart. That's all. Okay. Tara said mom is a different person every time I see her. Oh, babe, I'm so sorry. Yeah. Okay. I am doing readings, Tara. I will definitely do that for you for sure. Okay, so let's do our regular stuff and then we'll get into some readings. So let's take a look at Luminous. So you guys should have received it here not very long ago. It's been a breakneck morning, but I'll put links in the chat rooms for you too. And then I'm going to share my screen over in the live stream. So I can do that. Yeah. We need air conditioned masks for summer. Yeah, no kidding. For sure. Oh, Sheila said it's really kicking up in her place too. Yep. Oh, Kentucky Derby parties. Oh, yeah. Well, it's hard. I mean, I don't want to get COVID and I want to take care of myself and other people as much as the next guy. But my gosh, at what point do we just have to just, I don't know. I think this winter we'll see us getting pretty buckled down again, to be honest. I suspect that's going to happen, but depends on where you live. In Idaho, we won't. We won't. But I think in some places that'll definitely happen. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And I know we're all sick of COVID. Sick, sick, sick. Okay. All righty. So I did a more witchy cover this week. I love this. So I called this edition the Deep Breaths edition because, again, the collective energy is full of chaos right now. So deep breaths, time in nature, and saying no will get you through. I think that's key right now. Do not commit yourself to stuff you don't want to do, that you don't feel good enough to do, that you don't have time to do. Say no. Get a boundary if you can. I know it's not always possible, but don't get talked into other people's chaos right now. It's just too freaking much. Okay. I was just thinking about the disappointment that I saw happen on Saturday as the girls got beat out and really how beautifully and gracefully they handled it. And I thought that it's something to think about. Like, how do we do disappointment? Something that kids a lot of times don't do very well. Some adults don't do very well. It's a hard one, you know? And I think it's okay to be on both sides of it. Maybe, learning how to be graceful towards others, but also allowing yourself to be in your feelings. But I found this Mark Twain quote that I thought was beautiful. 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things you didn't do, by the ones you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your sails, explore, dream, discover. I loved that because I think that a lot of times we hold ourselves back to protect ourselves from having to experience disappointment. And there's no judgment in that either, but truly, what if we didn't? What if we knew that we could fail and that we could be okay with that? But it was worth trying it anyway because, hey, why not give it a go? But I do think we protect ourselves from disappointment a lot because we don't want to have to feel those feelings. But what if we just learned how to feel those feelings, right? What if we just learned how to feel them and how to operate through them and how to let ourselves be there? It is the ego. And the ego's job is to keep you safe. And so it's the ego that says, let's not take that chance. What if it doesn't work out and then you feel bad? We don't want you to feel bad because that, well, doesn't feel good. So let's protect you by not giving it a shot. Yeah. And I think we fall into that. And I'm afraid that as parents, we do that to our kids and we teach them something as adults that was unintended in not teaching them to give it a chance, give it a shot, not letting them fail, not letting them lose, be second place or last place or no place at all uh, because of our own egos. So I think it's just a good reminder to all of us that Disappointment is not the end of the world. Disappointment's an opportunity to reset, to regroup, to take a step back, to take a breath. That's all. We don't have to work so hard to avoid disappointment that we cheat ourselves out of having rich experiences. Okay, bitch scopes this week. Kelly called them Newton's third law. She has a great article about what's going on with the energy this week, knowing that it's going to be. She said it's no secret that in current events, the patriarchy is running amok and drinking the misogyny Kool Aid. I think that just needs to be framed and hung everywhere. That's pretty much where it's at, right? Oh my gosh. All righty. Well, I thought we would read a sign. So, how about Taurus? We're just about to move out of Taurus. Hey, big spender, put away your credit card. The current transit suggests you might be nesting and overspending as a means of comforting yourself. A healthy focus for you right now would be to assess your own value and what you offer the world and your relationships, especially if you've been feeling insecure. When was the last time you actually thought about your talents and gifts? This is also the perfect time to sit down and organize your finances if you want actual financial security. Ooh, is that a hard yikes for all of us? Probably. Oh gosh. My tip, be sure to read your scope. However, read yours, read your significant others, your bosses, your kids, your neighbors, whoever that you interface with so that you have a good sense of what's going on with them. Sometimes it helps a lot to understand what's going on in somebody's chart or to help you understand what's going on in their head, what their behavior is all about. Yeah. Okay. My tip was 3 essential oils for anxiety. Okay. So, of course, lavender. Wear or diffuse lavender to soothe your mind, body, and spirit. That's a pretty basic one. If you hate lavender, try using clary sage instead. Very similar benefits. Bergamot. Inhale or diffuse bergamot to stabilize your mood. This is my number one for mood stabilization, anxiety, depression. It kind of does triple duty. It's such a great oil for mental health and just overall feeling. And sandalwood. Wear or diffuse sandalwood to slow your thoughts. Sandalwood is a tree resin oil, so it's grounding. It just helps to bring you back down to earth. And then, of course, take good care of your mental health. You deserve to feel amazing. All righty. The Kindred Spirits Energy Oracle reading with Christy this week is Ariel. So I'll let you watch that. It's just a 1 minute video. The Magic Monday message from Melissa is travel. That's the journey. And she made such an awesome postcard of lots of travel and wonderful things. I feel like I've traveled more this spring than I think I ever have ever. And yeah, I may be ready to cool my heels for a minute. Maybe not though. I'll tell you why when I'm done here. Our Heart Happenings article from Ginger is uh, some of the signs that you can watch for your sign. So basically, different symbology for your sign, which I thought was pretty cool. Very worth checking out and thinking about. All right. Of course, we have lots of new episodes over at True Crime Paranormal because crime never rests. All righty. And that's about it. So, hopefully, you can find something in Luminous that resonates with you, that feeds you in some way. And I appreciate your support and the support of my colleagues always with Luminous for sure. Hey, Laurie. So, we've been we've been wanting to buy a motorhome really since we started last fall, traveling so much more because we could work from a motorhome. It's way easier to bring our dogs with us. Just overall, it's a more economical way for us, at least, to travel. And we've been trying to find the right one, and we bought a motorhome yesterday. So Scott has to go, well, back to Montana yet again tomorrow with his dad to pick it up. But I'm so excited. This is going to make camping this summer. We still have our fifth wheel too, but this is something I have really wanted. Because here's the thing, I have to travel with medical equipment, kind of a lot of it, and it's annoying and a pain in the ass. And now I can just set up my bedroom and it'll just be set up, and I don't have to haul stuff in and out of hotels and blah, blah, blah. I'll just have it. And with the dogs, not having to worry about them bothering other people and also paying a fortune for dog fees and stuff, being able to just cook right in the hotel and or the motorhome and not have to eat out every meal. Yeah, this is a good thing, a really good thing. So, anyway, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see it. We have not seen it. We bought it on an auction. So, hopefully, it's not a total shithole. I don't think it is. From the pictures, it looks to me like it's pretty great. So, if it needs some work, I'm ready and willing. I've been thinking about like what kind of a motif, what kind of a vibe do I want? I'm thinking like gypsy camp, you know? that's that's my style. Wondering what kind of you know, wall hangings and window treatments and things like that I want. I could have some real fun with this. Hopefully Scott won't mind too much. Brandy, sandalwood does help with yes, with slowing your thoughts, and it probably would help you. Uh, cypress is another really good oil for grief. In fact, babe, I have an essential oil blend postcard that is specifically for grief. Let me see if I can pull it up here and share it with you, because sometimes if one person needs it, somebody else probably does too. So let me see if I can get it pulled up here. And also, I am very, very sorry for your loss. Let's see. Hopefully, I pulled up the right one. Turned out I had more than one grieving heart tip. Okay. Rosewood, bergamot, and cypress are all good essential oils for grief. So you rub them into your heart chakra or you diffuse them to help bring you some comfort. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I can certainly do readings on the road. Yep. Lots of stuff. I even thought about tossing out my internet and getting Starlink so that I could just travel with it, so that I would just have good Wi-Fi wherever I went. I know. Lots of thoughts, right? Yeah, we did trick out. It wasn't a motorhome, it was just a little camper. It was like a 1960s Nomad. And we do have one actually to fix up, Sid. We just haven't done it. I know, but in all our spare time, we have not done it. But we do have a tiny one that needs to just be done. We've seriously considered getting it in the garage here in the next short while because it's not as big. The last one we did had a bathroom. This one does not. I mean, it's like they call them a canned ham. That's the shape of them. And yeah, I think we can trick this one out and sell it for a good price like we did Norma, the last one we did. But yeah, but I don't want to camp in it. No bathroom? That's a hard pass. But a lot of people love the little old vintage campers. Not having a bathroom is not a, see, they're younger than me for sure. It's not a no go. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see how this one comes together. But yeah, we they are a little harder to find than they used to be. But yeah, when we sold Norma, the people we sold it to actually had purchased one to redo and then didn't do it. And so they actually traded us part of the cost of the camper we sold to them was them giving us this one. Anyway, and it'll be cute as hell when it's done. Yes, it'll make it so much easier to do on the road, true crime paranormals. We could do another road trip. I don't know if you guys remember, maybe you didn't follow it, but a couple of years ago, we did a cemetery tour out in the Chalice Salmon area of Idaho, where there's some really ancient cemeteries, and it was so cool. We had such a fun trip. But yeah, the motorhome would make that a snap. We'd have a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Brandy, absolutely, sweetheart. I know you are. I'm so sorry. Her boyfriend died. I should have made that more clear. Her boyfriend passed away earlier this week. So I know. I'm sorry. But yeah, try that. Also the crystal for grief, in my opinion, is mangano calcite. This it's pink. Every time I get this up like near my ring light, look how it just glows. I can't show it to you very well. Let me see if I can shade it. There we go. There? Yeah, kind of. It's pink, but mangano calcite. But rose quartz is really good too. But those are both good crystals for grief. Yeah. Okay. So I'm thinking we probably better move on to Full Moon Fairy Tale Tarot if we're going to get to some readings too. So I already pulled the card. So the card is a young girl. It's the Princess of Swords. She looks like she has like a sword or a wand in her hands. She's riding on, I'm going to say a dove, and flying over a river. There's lots of trees below. There's a sun with a halo around it. Yeah. So this is it. So let's read it. So this is the Princess of Swords. The story is Thumbelina. The culture is Danish. And of course, this is the message for us for the next 2 weeks. The key words are bravery, facing challenges, and incisiveness. Once upon a time, there was a woman who wanted a child more than anything. She decided to seek counsel from a wise witch. You would like a little child? Asked the witch kindly. The woman nodded as the witch placed a barley corn seed in her hand and closed it shut. Take this seed and place it in a pot of soil. The woman thanked the witch and went home to sow the seed. She had barely finished when an unusual bud poked through the soil. Oh, this is a beautiful flower. She cupped the blossom and kissed it gently. Suddenly it burst open, revealing a tiny girl inside. Remember, she asked if you would like a tiny child. She was no larger than the woman's thumb. I shall call you Thumbelina, cried the woman joyfully. The woman made a bed out of a walnut shell, and covered Thumbelina with soft petals. That evening a toad crawled through the window and saw Thumbelina sleeping in her cozy bed. Ah, she would make a fine bride for my son, thought the toad, as she abducted the girl and brought her to the toad bog. Thumbelina woke up on a lily pad and listened quietly as the toads discussed wedding plans. Thumbelina didn't want a husband who croaked, nor did she want to spend her life in a bog. The fishes in the water heard her laments and decided to help her escape. They nibbled on the stems of the lilies, setting her free. Thumbelina didn't drift far before a beetle swooped down and grabbed her by the waist. He took her to a tree where his family lived. But everyone was so dismayed by her strange appearance that the beetle decided to abandon any ideas of marrying her. What the hell? Who said she wants to get married? He flew her to a field of flowers and gently dropped her down. Oh, I see. So she was different. So she didn't fit into the family. Okay, that's nice. Thumbelina enjoyed the freedom of the meadow, where she made a bed from the grass and drank dew from flower petals. She loved to sing softly with the birds and the summer breeze blowing across the fields. But nothing lasts forever, and soon the balmy winds gave way to blustery gusts that marked the shorter days ahead. Then the snow began to fall, covering the brown leaves, and flowers that now sank sadly to the hard ground. Thumbelina struggled under the weight of the snowflakes, her tattered clothes offering little protection against the bitter cold. Thumbelina thought she would surely freeze to death when a field mouse spotted the shivering girl outside her door. "Oh, you poor thing! Do come in and warm yourself." The field mouse gave her some blankets and fed her some barley. "You may stay here for winter if you'd like. I could use some help with the chores, and besides, I would enjoy the company. Tomorrow you shall meet my wealthy neighbor, Mr. Mole. He wears a dashing velvet coat." When Mr. Mole arrived, Miss Field Mouse urged Thumbelina to sing for their guest. Mr. Mole could not see, but he fell in love with Thumbelina's angelic voice and wanted to marry her. For God's sake, why? Okay. Being a man of stature and pride, he decided to wait before making arrangements. He invited Miss Field Mouse and Thumbelina to visit his underground dwelling first. They traveled through a dark tunnel, passing a dead bird. Thumbelina quickly bent over and kissed the bird's warm cheek. "It's still alive!" Thumbelina thought joyfully before catching up with the others. That night she wove a straw blanket and began to nurse the bird back to health. When the first warm days ahead started melting the snow, the bird had fully recovered. "Come fly away with me," implored her new friend. Thumbelina wanted to go, but she felt she couldn't leave Miss Field Mouse after all of the kindness she had shown her. When Thumbelina returned to Miss Field Mouse, she was told that Mr. Mole was going to marry her in a few days' time. On the day of the wedding, Thumbelina begged Miss Field Mouse not to make her go through with it. "Foolish child," the mouse snapped, "I will bite you with my teeth. He will take good care of you, and is well stocked for underground home in his underground home. Now don't act so ungrateful after all I've done for you." Mr. Mole arrived and told Thumbelina she could spend a few minutes outdoors before accompanying him to his underground home forever. She ran outside and tearfully hugged the flowers. How she wished to see her friend the swallow one last time. Ah, it was a swallow, not a dove. Just then the swallow glided down and urged her to climb on his back. "I am flying to where the sun always shines. Please come with me." Thumbelina did not hesitate to join him. Together they flew over forests and oceans until they came to a land fragrant with orange blossoms. The swallow coasted over a patch of beautiful flowers. "Where would you like to make your home?" asked the swallow. Thumbelina pointed to a large white flower. "I know I could be happy there," she squealed. In the flower sat a little man with wings. He was a handsome sprite, about Thumbelina's size. Oh, let me guess. He wants to marry her? Thumbelina apologized for intruding, but the fairy, smitten with Thumbelina's sweet nature, asked her to join him as his flower queen. She's just getting all the boys. Thumbelina took the flower king's hand and agreed to help him preside over the flowers. And in a land where it never grows cold, they lived happily ever after. Well, her poor original mother, who only got to have her for like a day. Symbols and meaning. The swallow is an auspicious symbol of hope and renewal. It glides over the waters of the unconscious, where dreams and collective myths flow. The bird and girl fly through mists, leaving their troubles behind. The girl holds the sword, thus directing her energies towards new pastures. Her hair flows with the wind and commingles with the feathers, suggesting freedom and liberty. Her dress is decorated with gold embroidery, denoting growth and continuation. The sun represents illumination and intuition. The princess encourages us to go for it. Summon up your strength and plow through perceived obstacles with unmitigated bravery. Now, there's a phrase for all of us: unmitigated bravery. Embrace the energy that has encapsulated your being and take advantage of a situation that will deliver you from conflict. And there you go, Thumbelina. Yep. Scott says all of those, all of the attempted forced marriages represent Christianity. I don't know if that's true, but that's what he said. Oh my gosh. Well, that was it. So how does that relate to us this week? Well, good question. I think it is in taking big steps forward, taking big steps forward, being brave, taking chances, being willing to put yourself out there in ways that you maybe haven't in the past. And I think being willing to face some adversity. So what if not everyone likes you? So what if not everyone likes or wants to hear what you have to say? So the hell what? Right? God, we've been led to believe that everyone has to like us and like what we're doing. They don't. They don't. And you can blow that off. You don't have to make everybody change their mind. You also don't have to apologize for being yourself. Yep. Okay. I had a couple of reading requests I wanted to get to, and then we will get our message from Kathleen. So, first of all, let's see. Tara wanted to pull a card to see if I think they are going to keep her at her job. Let's see, Tara, I scrolled away. If you're doing readings, can you pull a card to see if this is actually my last week at my job or if they will keep me on as a spare? I don't need a card for it. I'll pull you a card just for a message, but I'm going to tell you, I think that they are going to keep you on as a spare. I feel like sometimes they'll use you quite a bit and then you'll go a ways without getting anything, but I feel like they are going to keep you on to some degree. But let's pull a card too, because I know life has just been pretty rough at your house recently. Oh, well, the card is heartache and loss. So part of it probably is the job, you know. Going through a change like this is hard. But again, I do think they're still going to keep you to some degree. But I think this is more about mom and the situation there. So I think really, babe, tending to that heart and tending to your families as well and learning how to navigate through this time is going to be really important. Some happy distractions, you're going to need them. Some opportunities to step away from the sad, the frustrating stuff, you're definitely going to need them. Okay, Lillian needed a good clearing, so let's do that. Okay. Yeah, your aura is really heavy. All of that worry. So I'm going to work on clearing and lifting that. You're carrying a bunch in your lower back too, right above your hips. At least where I'm feeling it is a little more on the left side. Um, and that I think is worry about the housing situation more than anything. I'm just clearing that out. All right, finish clearing up that aura. I just want to lighten you up and give you a chance to be free from that. Okay. And then let's get some good light. I'm going to put emerald light around you. Green light is typically good for helping to heal. And since you're ill, I want to help promote some health here. Ooh. Good. All right. That yawn for me just says that we're moving some good energy. That's how my body responds to it. All righty. Well, we've got to do our bibliomancy. So, of course, this is We Are Here For You from by Kathleen Peterson. And this whole year, we are flipping to a page, just whatever page it opens to, and using that as our message for the week from Kathleen and her light beings. So, here we go. I think we had this one last week. Yeah, I'm going to flip one page to Archangel Michael. It's Ain, and I'm quite sure we had Ain last week. So, it's okay. Alrighty. So, Archangel Michael. Today, I offer my services to you for courage, protection, and encouragement. I am here to encourage you in all ways, to listen to your inner guides and take the steps which will move you in the complete direction of your life purpose. I will be here to help you with the courage to do this, regardless of the reaction of others. You are all on the brink of this change. You are all standing at the precipice, and yet there appears to be something holding you back. I offer my assistance in helping you to take that step. You may call it a leap, and for some it is a leap, but now it is time to do it. I see the divine in each of you. I know that you are capable of creating and bringing to the earth's plane. Trust what you are hearing in your mind and heart. Know that regardless of your beliefs to the contrary, you are all magnificent beings with much to offer the world around you and beyond. You have all gone through many changes in the past. All of the changes have had an impact on you who are in the physical plane, but beneath it all, you are still divine. Spirit is calling you to take your place in the creative plan. You are being called to acknowledge that you have a life purpose, and now is the time to follow that path without doubt or reservation. I am here to protect you and assist you with your courage. Be not afraid, for you are protected and loved, and all of your wants and needs will be supplied. Know that the universe is abundant, and you are not being called into a life of poverty. When you follow your life purpose and you open to giving, serving, and receiving, you are all very adept at giving and serving. Now is the time to also receive. I offer my assistance in providing you with the courage to ask for compensation for your services. Money is energy, and therefore I offer this idea. When you offer your services and you receive money for said services, this is an energy exchange. Take the risk, follow your guidance from within, and ask for the money. I realize that many of you are asking yourself, how can I speak of such mundane things? Well, I tell you that it is important that I speak of this, as a part of the hesitation in following your inner guidance is the fear that you will be heading into a life of poverty. I wish to allay this fear, and I wish to emphasize that prosperity can be found not only in the work you are currently doing, but in following your life purpose. Open your hearts and minds, step along the path you committed to before you entered the earth plane. Know in your hearts that you have all of the support you need to fulfill your commitment. I will help you now. I will help you create opportunities to bring in the prosperity if you will take the risk and renew the commitment to your life purpose. Now is the time. Now is when you are needed. It starts with a small step and then an open heart and mind. Open to the opportunities that await you. Open and be receptive to all that Spirit wishes to give. I will protect you and give you courage. Now is the time to take the first step, even if all you do is say yes to what you are being called to do. I offer my love, my protection, and my assistance in every phase of your awakening to who you really are. And that, of course, is a message from Archangel Michael and our dear Kathleen Peterson. So I know we have done it. We've beyond done it and talked down to the end of the show. So I want to thank you guys so very much for being here. I want to appreciate you and thank you for all of the support that you've shown me over the years and now. And of course, have a great week. You'll find me over at one2listen.com every single day doing readings and healings and everything in between. So hang in there for that. Come and see me if you need anything. And as always, this has been yet another production of 1 2 Radio, where we're changing the way you're listening to the world.